Hello, good morning. Hi, everyone. Welcome to See Joy and Expand podcast. This is Christian Joy, your host, and I'm on a podwalk today. The last episode, I did my first solo video. I'm moving towards video, but on these podwalks, until I figure out the audio setup, are just going to be audio, because when I record, I hold the speaker part of the phone closer to my face so you guys can hear me. And I found out not too long ago, because in the energy of experimentation and play and exploration, that my audio from my earbuds was worse than if I recorded this way. So I like this better. So I'm going to keep doing this until universe send me some audio equipment. I just said a request out loud. I do that a lot these days. It's really funny, but it's a lot of fun to say it out loud. You should try it and see how you feel when you make an outward request. And it doesn't even have to be universe. It could be God, spirit, source, Allah, whoever your higher source is. Whatever resonates with you is your higher power. And today, I don't know. I woke up this morning, and this is something I've been on to lately, is how do I want to show up right now? How do I want to show up right now? I had I've been on TikTok a lot lately, making videos, or actually I've been watching a lot, and then finally I was like, I think I'm ready to make video again. I took a long break, let my energy take me where it wanted to go instead of thinking I needed to keep hammering away at creating content in a particular way. I already know my human design. I can give myself permission to pivot. So today, and I was talking to Stormy, my friend Stormy Sage, on Instagram. She's on a couple of the earlier episodes. I did an interview of her, and I will be having her on soon again. She's on to something really fun. And if you saw last week's quantum hypnosis release, you might see a little blurb under her bio about it. It's so much fun. I don't want to drop the ball, or not drop the ball, but drop what it is, because it's so, for me, it's so juicy and exciting, and I love the way she's been delivering it on TikTok. You are welcome to just go ahead and follow her and see what the hell I'm talking about, or revisit last week's quantum hypnosis on Substack, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And so she created this phrase, and it just hit. It hit so hard in my body. I get so energized and excited and ready to play. I feel playful, and it was just so juicy. I was just like, I'm in love with whatever's coming through you right now, because it's so good. And the phrase itself, it's very, I'll say, activating. And I just felt it in every fiber of my being. And now it's like, well, how do I want to show up now in this moment? And everybody knows how to, or most people, I'm not going to say everybody knows. Sorry, I'm waiting for the car to pass by. A lot of people understand in the self-help spaces or spiritual work how to engage with other parts of themselves. And that could be the higher self, the part that knows your answers, the part of you that knows your authentic and aligned answers, or I also call it the soul self. And Then you can engage with your inner child. Inner child's a lot of fun. You can engage with your future self. I talk about inner child. I haven't talked about future self, and she's onto future self, and I freaking love it. I know about future self. I don't know that I spent a lot of time with her yet, but I'm feeling the pull, because back in when I did my coaching training, my teacher guided us into a visualization on where we're going to go. What do we want for ourselves in the future? A future vision of where we're going. And my future self showed up. And anything could happen in a visualization process like that when you are engaging in a different conscious state, like visualization, meditation, breath work, etc. For me, it was connecting with my future self. And I always see her with red dress, long flowy hair. She's always dancing. She's always happy and just busy creating and like living a life of joy and levity, glee. So as we move forward, we're creating and building things just in general for a lot of us. We have these bigger picture dreams and goals. We start to step into, like, to be the person who holds the future goal or dream in their hands, in their reality. They're stepping into the version of themselves that is that person that can hold that future dream and goal in their reality. So it's not, how do I get this thing? Because that's what patriarchy, capitalism taught us. Get the thing first and I will be. Patriarchy taught us that if we got it first, then we will be. That's obviously not true, else we all would be where we wanted to be. That might work for some people. I do want to say, as an example, like a really good, clear example, that it's a reason why a lot of people who win the lottery don't keep all their money. They are millionaire overnight, and then a few years down the line, they're not millionaires anymore. Because they are not, let me put it this way, the day before to the day after they won that money, they're still the same damn person. They're still the same person. They haven't become the person who knows how to manage $1 million or multi-millions of dollars. They're like, oh, I got the money, I can have everything. But what if you never learned to become the person who could have all the things that they wanted? How do we be the person, be as a verb, the person that holds the dream in your hands? And it starts right now in this moment. Like, how do I want to show up? How do you want to show up? How do you want to show up and be the version of yourself that has the bigger dream, vision, or goal? For me, the version of the story where I wanted to be a millionaire, my version of that story is I'm leaving my I'm leaving my old career as a nurse, and I wanted to become an entrepreneur. Now, the real story, and I'm very honest about this, is that it took me from 2021 to 2025 to energetically understand and have the clarity of who I am to be that person. When I left nursing, I thought, oh, I'm going to explore a little bit and then I'm going to be a human design reader. That's what I thought initially. And then I realized, no, I didn't want to study and teach. What did I say in the moment? I didn't want to study and then tell people who they are. That's where I was energetically before. Now that human design is coming back, and you guys, I'm going to be talking about human design I love talking about human design. I love talking about astrology. I love talking about all the tools in different ways. I see it as a tool to give you a different perspective on a way to see things, because society didn't teach us a healthy way of viewing things in harmony, in balance. In fact, society doesn't traditionally believe in balance at all. So I thought, oh, I'm going to do this and then it'll equal Z. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to learn how to do this modality, human design reading, equals I'm making the business. That's how fast my brain moved about it, and how much in the future I was living with it. And it was really funny because when I first started coaching, when my teacher taught in the beginning, very beginning of the course, she said, how do we be the person that holds a bigger vision? I didn't understand it at first. I did not get it. And this is me right after my awakening, baby woo, baby spiritual. Didn't get it. I didn't get it until probably last year. It didn't finally land in myself. That's when it finally made sense. And I was like, okay, I get it now. So, and that's a testament to don't feel pressure to understand a thing. Maybe you're meant to understand it later. And when it does, it hits so different and so good and so juicy. So don't force yourself. Just, it's a practice of not respecting, but it's a practice of honoring the version of you are today. So my version of that is that I thought I was going to just, bam, start the business. And as my path has unfolded in the last 4 years, that is just not how I'm meant to manifest. And that's another thing about manifesting. I think that the spiritual community is moving out of, hopefully, is that they marketed towards fast manifestation. What if your magic is in slower manifestation? And I need to say that out loud because nobody ever says it. It's not sexy enough to sell. That, oh, if you do this, you're going to get that. But that form of marketing did not serve me. So I'm going to say it out loud. Maybe you're meant to manifest at a slower pace. Especially when I learned my human design of my business, I realized their energies that moved slower. Their journey was slower than mine. And when I realized energetically their journey is slower than mine, I was like, that gave me so much space to continue to explore what I wanted to do with my time. What did I want my life to look like? Instead of hammering away and forcing a business to unfold. And now I'm in the magic of the moment, engaging with my future self. Yesterday, I went on a walk, as usual. And I decided to walk with her. So I visualized, and some of you will be the type of person who can really see your future self walk next to you. And we were just like having a conversation. If you're familiar with parts work or AKA internal family systems, it's a modality in therapy in how to create more harmony within ourselves, because everybody has multiple parts of themselves. And we were just chatting, and she's the sweetest, most beautiful person. I love her. I love my future self. I love the person who I'm stepping into. Not that I'm not that person. That person is me. I am that person right now. It's just learning to let her come up through me, from within me, and acting and starting to act and behave. And this looks like creating the habit or engaging with the world, or doing things that feels like so much more joy. For me, the words are joy, levity, peace, connection, things like that. What are your words? What are your words? How do you want to move around in the world? My future self is always dancing. She's just dancing and having the time of her life. How do you want to move around in the world? So this is the work I do with myself, and this is the work I do with my clients. Some of it, a piece of it. Now, a lot of you, if you're here, you're not here by accident. And it feels like, how can I behave in that way when there's so much going on in the world? So much going on in the world. And I'm going to say this before I continue. My future self is a very creative person. And I say that because I've only now, in this moment, starting last year, started healing my relationship with creativity. And now it's coming through in my work. My work with you guys, with everybody that I create for, is my art. And that realization was very powerful for myself. My life is my art. We're all creative beings. We all have the capacity for creativity. So I was learning what creativity looked like, what it meant, what it is to be creative. And creativity, if you are making something, whether it is art, whether it is a business, it is creativity. You are engaging in a form of creativity. Especially entrepreneurship, there's no blueprint or instructions for that. If you want it to make it feel like you, let's put it that way. Now the world is very crazy. Every time you turn on the news, something insane is happening. Like, even more so than before. Last week, they were talking about, I don't know what this is about. Something about, I heard it real quick, and I was like, what the F? The immigration reality show? Am I getting this right, you guys? I actually found this really cool Substack online. It's part of my recommendation list if you guys are reading my Substack. And this is not a plug. I'm just like, because I really love her work, because she marries both of her magical work with what's happening in our physical reality, with like politics and stuff. She calls herself the Chaos Witch. Her name's Grey Galaxy. She's great. I love her stuff, because this is like now my new form of reading the news. It's like my newspaper, except she tells the truth in her witchy and esoteric way. And then she adds the astrology, and she has a lot of great stuff. I love her content. It's really good. And if it weren't for her telling everybody what was happening, not telling everybody what was happening, but speaking on what is happening, that I wouldn't know about that. And then it started cropping up in other places. So now that I'm not on Instagram and Facebook, Spirit always has a way to keep me abreast of what's going on now that I've left those platforms. So a lot of crazy, oh my God. I saw another story on TikTok about the 30-year-old pregnant woman, and she's being kept alive because of their abortion laws. And you guys are probably like, oh my God, Christian hasn't been talking about any of that controversial stuff on the news. And yes, she's bringing it back again. Or, oh no, I didn't come here for this. I like to talk about these things. There's something to notice when witnessing the shadow of our world. Something that's very transformative when we allow ourselves to be very real and honest and open our eyes to those things. And granted, only you know what your capacity is for taking on information that can be harmful to your mental health. So don't do it if you're not in the state to receive such information. Honor where you are at. If you're anxious through the roof and holding space for that kind of information might not serve you, and honor that and take care of yourself, please. I believe that we can be aware and we can be in our aligned energies at the same time. At least this is my path. If it doesn't resonate with you, honor that. This is how I've chosen to move through the world. I like to know. I've learned my energy took me to really looking at what was happening in the Middle East for like the last year and a half, ever since it started. I watched everything. It was not good for my mental health. And then I realized I needed to I think I know enough to understand what the F happens there. It's awful. And now it really, when I look back at why was my energy, my intuition taking me in that direction? And then I realized that my purpose was bigger. It helped me realize that the work I do in helping folks step into their aligned and soul selves, their most authentic expressions, it's essential for those deeper aspects, for those atrocities. Trauma creates more trauma. Now, if we all focused on ourselves and healed ourselves instead of sharing trauma continuously through the generations, the world will look like a different place. So I'm not overly focusing on all the nice and juicy and lovely words because I'm running away from the shadow. It is because of the shadow in our reality, in our collective, in our society, that it is important to step into that joy, levity, love, gratitude, all the things. It made my mission more firm. I wrote a piece on both and, painting a picture of how you can be in your reality with in your highest alignment and live in a world that doesn't feel like that. And when you step into that self with all your higher self words, whatever those are, I've shared mine a lot. Now what's yours? What are your higher self words? What is the version of you're stepping into? You can be a witness to the reality that's in your world, and you can be your higher self authentic words. That's the both and perspective. It's the both and experience. I started including this practice a lot more this past year because I was really in observing what was happening in the news. I had a lot of guilt and shame. In fact, I got a little depressed about it. When there's nothing wrong with depression, it's a feeling. It's an experience you're having. You are not your depression. I am not the depression I experience. You are not the depression you experience. And then I had that inner conflict within me for a long time. And then I realized that these both existences are happening in real time. Instead of having the dialogue of, that's happening, but I feel this. People are dying every day, but I feel like an oasis inside. That's how I wrote it in that both and piece I did. And I shifted to all these atrocities are happening in the world, and I feel like an oasis inside. When you marry two opposing experiences together with and, you start to feel a harmony and within yourself that it is okay. It's okay that I am witnessing and experiencing both. You come back to the okayness of both truths, because both truths are true. Both truths are true. So I'll link that Substack. I love the piece that I wrote on it. It's really good. I love both and. It's very healing. Just shifting a word in your vocabulary is the work. When you find opposing experiences in your reality, or even within you, you'll have one part that thinks this and the other part that thinks that, and you want to say but. Like, I feel very anxious about this, but I'm really excited to do it. What if you said, I'm really anxious about this experience that I'm stepping into, and I'm really excited? You're creating harmony between the two parts. You're creating wholeness within. You're creating inward inclusivity. Inward inclusivity within you. You are creating inward inclusivity within. Harmony between two parts. When we honor the harmony within, or cultivate the harmony within, you'll start to see it manifest in your waking world, your conscious moments. So try it on. I'll link it in the show notes. I do a little, I have examples of what that looks like, the different types of experiences that looks like. And this all came from my own work. Like when I wrote it, I was like, oh, this is really interesting. I've never seen anybody frame it this way. I went within myself about these topics over the past couple of years. Now back to future self and the bigger vision and dream at hand. How does she move? How does she act? What are her words? What is her personality like? How does she speak? And drop your answers in the comments in Spotify or in Substack, whichever platform you're following me on or listening to this. I want to hear your words. I would love to hear your words. So take a few deep breaths before you do the practice so you can like really step into the here and now, like and then ask yourself who's your future self? What does she look like? How does she move? How does she talk? And what are those words? Those energies that she steps into. My words are joy, levity, gratitude, love, all the time. I know my words kind of evolve over time, but not too much. They stay pretty similar until I'm ready for a new word. And yeah, let me know. I would love to hear what your words are. And let me know what your both and your opposing experiences that you can both and within. And if you don't want to do these practices on your own, I did open up, if you haven't heard yet, I did open up coaching spots starting last Monday. I'm going to close the doors on June 2nd. I'm only looking for 6 people. There's a tier 1 and a tier 2. Tier 1, we work really closely together. We all meet weekly, and this is for people who have the space in their lives to, and maybe even has gone to a lot of therapy. They're very self-aware and they're ready to explore who they're stepping into. And tier 2 is great for someone who has a therapist, or maybe not even have a therapist. Maybe you are a little self-aware and you want to shift and you don't have as much time to devote to it. I meet bi-weekly with people in tier 2, and in the off weeks we correspond through my message support with you. So if that interests you, I've been telling everybody to just take their time and take their time and feeling through it. Does this feel like a yes to me? Is this a yes in my body? Is this a yes in my gut? Or is this a no? This is really a no. I'm really repelled by your work. No, it's a definite no. And if you don't feel anything, maybe take the time to feel it out and come to a yes or a no. It's a no, and maybe the answer will come later. Take your time. Doors close June 2nd. And a lot of the stuff that I share in my podcast episodes is work that I do with my clients. So if you want to explore my vibe, you can go through older episodes if you want to. And also another thing, I don't force any of my clients to do things that they don't want to do. I think I have to say that out loud. It feels like something that should be said out loud. A lot of people hear coach and they're like, coach, ew. They're going to tell me what to do. I'm like, no, that's not what coaches do. And honestly, that's how I felt when I heard coach at first, because my rebel insides are like repelled by people telling me to do things. I'm not that person. I don't like people telling me what to do. So I will make sure that I'm not telling you what to do because I freaking hate it. Don't tell me what to do. Like I'm really repelled by like my energetically, like every time someone tries to tell me what to do, I'm just like, no. And like I really feel it in my body. It's really funny. It's a funny experience within me. Anywho, leave a rating, review, wherever you're listening to me. Tap the heart if you're reading this or listening to this on Substack. And yeah, I'm really excited, you guys. I'm excited for the people coming through who want to create a container and in this partnership and see how your life evolves through this experience. I'm really excited. Where does your soul want to take you in becoming your technicolor human? I even love how that came through me. Becoming your technicolor human. All your different parts coming together in one cohesive whole within you so you can feel balance and harmony and peace. If those are your words. Anywho, all right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.